Now our ABC News exclusive with Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne, their first TV interview since Ozzy's recovery from a major operation. Chris Conley sat down with them and he joins us now.
For over 5 decades, Ozzy Osbourne has shaped the very essence of heavy metal. From fronting Black Sabbath to his groundbreaking solo career, Ozzy's influence is undeniable. However, like all legends before him, Ozzy is now faced with a battle so tough that no amount of rock and roll rebellion can overcome. Survival is my legacy. Never give up. If you've got a passion for something, you got to find a way around it to carry on the passion. His wife, Sharon Osbourne, has just shared a devastating update about the challenge this legendary musician is facing. What is this news that has rocked the rock and roll fan community? Besides, what is this challenge Ozzy is facing? Join us as we dive into the details. Sharon Osbourne's announcement, popularly known by his stage name Prince of Darkness, Ozzy Osbourne owned the rock and roll stage for over 5 decades, serenading his fans with his wild stage antics, energized performance, and heartfelt moments. All through this period, Ozzy has battled with addiction, injuries, and even a couple of near-death experiences. His wife Sharon has been a source of support all through, and Ozzy fought through it all. But his latest struggle has brought new challenges the couple are finding hard to cope with. His health took a heartbreaking turn when he discovered he had Parkinson's disease. While his fans were still adjusting to the devastating news, Sharon shared an emotional update that left many in the gloom. She recently had a one-on-one interview with The Sun where she spoke in detail about the health condition of her husband Ozzy. That was where she dropped the most shocking update of all. She revealed that Ozzy's Parkinson's disease has progressed to the point where he can no longer walk. The image this emotional interview depicts was hard to imagine. The once unstoppable rock icon, who is known for his electrifying stage performance, is now reduced to struggling with even the simplest movements. But anyone who has had an experience with Parkinson's disease can relate to how relentlessly aggressive it can quickly become. The disease can progress quickly, affecting motor functions, balance, and muscle control. According to Sharon's explanation during the interview, the disease has severely impacted Ozzy's legs, making it impossible for him to move independently. She admitted that while they had hoped to slow the progression, the reality has been much harsher than they anticipated when they first got the sad news. Sharon admits they were more optimistic, thinking it would probably change a few things in their routine, but they could eventually adjust and still continue with their routines. In fact, when the news first broke out, Sharon was in a way comforting fans, saying, "It's not a death sentence." Looking back at that time, Sharon says they had greatly underestimated the disease. Since then, Sharon has become Ozzy's full-time caregiver, witnessing firsthand the daily struggles he faces. Despite the challenges, she remains devoted to ensuring he receives the best care possible. This new reality has been difficult for the entire Osbourne family. Sharon has always been Ozzy's rock, managing both his career and his well-being. But now, as his health continues to decline, they have reached a point where goodbyes are inevitable. It was at this point Sharon dropped the other news. After years of uncertainty surrounding his health, Ozzy Osbourne is preparing for one final farewell. For a passionate musician like Ozzy, leaving the rock and roll stage permanently would inevitably be one of the toughest goodbyes ever. The event is set to take place on the 5th of July, 2025. Ozzy will be reuniting with his Black Sabbath bandmates for a historic performance in Birmingham, his hometown, the city where it all began. This concert event, titled Back to the Beginning, is a well-deserved, resounding exit this great icon deserves. For the first time in 20 years, the original lineup made up of Ozzy Osbourne, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward will share the stage. This would be an opportunity to reunite and reminisce about the good old days when their journey began. It will also be the final performance of Ozzy Osbourne's career and give his colleagues an opportunity to say goodbye. For decades, fans have celebrated Black Sabbath as the godfather of heavy metal. For Ozzy, this final show is a deeply personal goodbye to the fans who have stood by him through it all. Birmingham was where Ozzy Osbourne's journey into music began. It's where he met Tony Iommi, where Black Sabbath was formed, and where heavy metal itself was born. Now, in 2025, Ozzy will stand on stage in the place that made him one last time. His career was disrupted by health struggles, cutting performances short and leaving fans wondering if he would ever return. His journey took a devastating turn in 2019. Initially, Ozzy and his family kept the diagnosis private, processing the reality of what it meant for his future. However, in 2020, he and Sharon decided to publicly share the news during an emotional interview on Good Morning America. The announcement confirmed what many fans had speculated for some time. There has been some speculation over Ozzy's struggles on stage and in public appearances. Some felt these weren't just due to aging, but were symptoms of a deeper medical issue. The disease quickly took a toll on Ozzy's mobility. Over time, simple movements became exhausting, and walking turned into a painful challenge. Sharon explained that Parkinson's affects different parts of the body unpredictably, and in Ozzy's case, his legs were severely impacted. Some days were better than others, but as the years went on, those good days became fewer and far between. While Parkinson's was a life-changing diagnosis, it wasn't the only medical crisis Ozzy faced. In 2019, he suffered a serious fall in his home. The fall aggravated old injuries from his infamous 2003 ATV accident, in which he had fractured multiple bones and required metal rods and pins to be placed in his spine and neck. When he fell in 2019, those metal implants were dislodged, causing excruciating pain and forcing him into yet another round of invasive surgeries. The aftermath was brutal. He required multiple procedures to stabilize his injuries, which left him in a prolonged state of recovery. The combination of Parkinson's and the spinal damage made mobility even harder, and his ability to walk steadily deteriorated. What was once just occasional difficulty walking became a near impossible movement. Despite his efforts in physical therapy and rehabilitation, Ozzy's condition continued to decline. Sharon, ever the optimist, tried to reassure fans during this time, but even she couldn't deny the heartbreaking reality that Ozzy's body was no longer capable of sustaining the high-energy performances he had once mastered. Despite the melancholic mood Osbourne's fans are in, one can hardly deny that Ozzy Osbourne has led an interesting life. In fact, some of the details of his career have left many stunned. Ozzy Osbourne childhood. Ozzy Osbourne was born on December 3, 1948, in Aston, Birmingham, into a working-class family. His parents, Lillian and John Thomas Osbourne, worked tirelessly to provide for their 6 children. Lillian was employed in a factory, while John, who was fondly called Jack, worked night shifts as a toolmaker at the General Electric Company. Ozzy was the 4th of 6 children, with 3 older sisters, Jean, Iris, and Gillian, and 2 younger brothers, Paul and Tony. As the middle child in a crowded household, he often felt overlooked. His struggles with dyslexia worsened the situation, making school an especially difficult experience. His childhood was not only defined by neglect but also by deep trauma. At the age of 11, he became a victim of sexual abuse at the hands of school bullies. This experience left lasting scars. By the time he reached his teen years, he battled depression and attempted suicide multiple times. The instability of his home life only worsened his emotional struggles. While his mother had a passion for singing, his father was known for his drinking. Reflecting on his upbringing, Ozzy later described his family as poverty-stricken and violent, recalling the frequent beatings his mother endured at the hands of his father. Witnessing this violence shaped him in troubling ways. By the age of 7, he had already exhibited aggressive tendencies, forming what he called hanging squads, where he and other children would tie up their peers in school bathrooms. He often engaged in brutal street fights using anything within reach: trash can lids, fireplace pokers, and even meat cleavers. In one particularly violent encounter, he attempted to drown another boy, later remarking, "Where I came from it was kill or be killed." By the age of 14, his struggles with mental health escalated. In a moment of despair, he attempted to take his own life by fashioning a noose from his mother's clothesline and jumping from a chair. His father walked in just in time to save him, only to beat him severely afterward. This period of his life was also marked by delinquency. Ozzy developed a habit of stealing, particularly records, to fuel his love of music. Then something happened that changed the trajectory of his life. As a young teenager, Ozzy idolized the Beatles, and after hearing their 1963 hit She Loves You, he became convinced that he was destined to be a rock star. However, his path to fame was anything but straightforward. Leaving school at 15, Ozzy cycled through a series of low-paying jobs, including working as a construction laborer, trainee plumber, an apprentice toolmaker, a car factory horn tuner, and most infamously, a slaughterhouse worker. His time in the slaughterhouse, where he killed up to 250 cattle a day, only reinforced his growing fascination with death and the macabre. This would later become a defining element of his stage persona. At 17, his criminal behavior caught up with him when he was arrested for robbing a clothing store. Unable to pay the fine, and with his father refusing to help, he was sentenced to 6 weeks in Winston Green Prison. While incarcerated, he was forced to defend himself against an attack from another inmate, striking his assailant over the head with a metal chamber pot. Upon his release, he knew he had to find a new direction. His love for music, ignited by the Beatles, gave him that purpose. Though he had struggled academically, he had always enjoyed performing, even taking part in school plays like The Mikado and HMS Pinafore. But it was rock and roll that truly called to him. He later stated in the documentary God Bless Ozzy Osbourne that the moment he heard the Beatles, he knew he was going to be a rock star for the rest of his life. Think about legacy. I just plotted on you. Despite the darkness of his early years, music gave Ozzy an escape, a chance to reinvent himself. He was about to embark on a journey that would not only change his life but also redefine heavy metal forever. Ozzy Osbourne's influence on heavy metal is immeasurable. He was the frontman of his band Black Sabbath. He utilized that platform to pioneer a new genre of music. His signature genre is defined by dark, heavy riffs and ominous themes that captivated audiences worldwide. From the eerie opening notes of Black Sabbath in 1970 to the iconic Paranoid, Ozzy's haunting vocals and theatrical presence transformed rock music forever. In 1979, he departed from the band. Some of his fans feared this move would slow his career down or reduce his relevance in the rock and roll scene. That didn't happen. Instead, his solo career reaffirmed his status as a metal legend. Albums like Blizzard of Oz, which he released in 1980, and Diary of a Madman, which he added in 1981, introduced fans to classics like Crazy Train and Mr. Crowley, proving that Ozzy was not just the voice of Black Sabbath, he was a force all his own. Beyond his own music, Ozzy's impact can be seen in the countless artists he has influenced. From Metallica to Slipknot, many of today's biggest rock and metal bands cite him as an inspiration. He also played a key role in bringing heavy metal into mainstream culture, whether through the success of Ozfest, which gave countless bands a platform, or through his larger-than-life personality that kept metal in the public eye. Ozzy's career has spanned over 5 decades, and through it all, his fans have remained fiercely loyal. He has always had a deep connection with his audience. Despite being separated by the stage, one could easily see the mutual respect, admiration, and understanding Ozzy has with his fans. Regardless of his fame, he is still one of them. His infamous on-stage antics, from biting the head off a bat to his unpredictable stage presence, only strengthened his legend. Another thing that made his music very unique was the way it deeply resonated with people. His songs spoke to outcasts, rebels, and those struggling with their own demons, making his concerts feel like gatherings of a devoted family rather than just performances. As news of his final show spread, fans around the world reacted with a mix of sadness and gratitude. Many have taken to social media to express their appreciation for the role Ozzy's music has played in their lives. Longtime supporters are planning to travel to Birmingham for the historic event, wanting to witness the end of an era firsthand. Others are sharing memories of seeing Ozzy live, recalling how his performances left them exhilarated and inspired. Even those who never got the chance to see him in person understand the significance of this farewell. Despite his declining health, Ozzy has remained characteristically blunt about his condition. In a recent interview on Ozzy Speaks, his Sirius XM show, he acknowledged the severity of his struggles, but also reflected on the fact that he has survived more than most. I've made it to 2025. I can't walk, but you know what? For all my complaining, I'm still alive. He admitted that movement is one of his biggest challenges, describing how his legs feel like they have bricks tied to them when he tries to walk. But in true Ozzy fashion, he hasn't lost his humor or his resilience. He acknowledges his struggles but refuses to let them define him completely. Sharon has often remarked that while his body may be failing him, his spirit remains unbroken. As his final performance approaches, Ozzy knows this is his last chance to give back to the fans who have supported him through it all. Who has been by Ozzy's side through it, all will play a major role in preserving his legacy. She has always been his biggest supporter and business strategist, ensuring that his name remains at the forefront of music history. Whether through documentaries, tribute albums, or special events honoring his career, Ozzy's influence will live on long after he steps off the stage. Though Ozzy Osbourne is stepping away from the stage, his music and legacy will live on forever. What's your favorite memory of the legendary musician? What do you think of his decision to hold one last concert? We would love you to share your opinion in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Also, click the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.